Hi, welcome to yoga. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to start out in our mountain pose, so bringing our feet about hip width apart. And placing the hands on the hips, we're just going to make a few big wide hip circles. Just kind of stretching out the hips, relaxing. We should be able to raise the toes off the floor, finding our foundation in the sole and the heel of the foot. We'll sweep the arms up, exhale them down to our sides. Inhaling shoulders up to ears and exhale, let it out. Breathing here, all 10 fingers spread wide in our mountain pose. This pose is also called Tadasana. Feeling that strength in our roots growing all the way up through our legs and our torso and our arms and our head and neck. Bringing the hands together at the chest, we'll just rock back and forth between the sole and the heel of the foot. Grounding down here, finding that firm foundation in the earth beneath us. Inhale, press the hands up toward the sky. Exhale, hands back down to the heart. Inhale up and exhale down. And as with all of my classes, we always want to incorporate our breath with movement. Exhale, hands down to the sides. Inhale, press the air up toward the heavens. Exhale, press it back down toward the earth. Moving through this, inhaling, lifting the air. Exhale, set it back down. We always go at our own pace here, so take your time. Starting to warm up the shoulders. We'll shake that out. And relax the jaw, relax the shoulders. I'm just going to kind of let the arms flop from side to side. And it might look kind of funny, but it's really relaxing. And it's kind of playful, so it's a good way to let it out, any tension we might have. This next one's really fun. We're just going to hop straight up and down, relaxing, letting the stress and tension fall to the floor. We're going to inhale, hands up toward the sky, and next exhale we'll find our chair. Utkatasana. Hips just set right back behind. And we should be able to look down and see our feet past our knees. Core is engaged, spine is long and strong. If it's uncomfortable for us to keep the hands lifted up toward the sky, we can keep them at our heart or rest them on our thighs. We can go as deep into this as we would like. Our goal is to strengthen the thighs, engage the core. It's a good hip strengthener also. We're inhaling up, exhaling, taking a little seat. On the next inhale, reaching straight up and then pressing the hips forward, finding a back bend here. So reaching those hands back and then exhale down to the heart. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, swan diving down. Shoulder blades reach toward one another as we swoop down into our first forward fold of the day. Starting to relax the neck, shaking the head no. We'll bend those knees even deeper into the chest, lengthening through the spine. And then starting to nod the head yes. And we're just telling those little muscles in our shoulders and in our neck that they don't have to be tight. We're giving them permission to let go. We're taking care of ourselves. Let's grab either elbow here and just let those elbows shift from side to side. Notice we're keeping the torso fairly static. We're just moving the arms. We're going to walk the fingertips over to the right side of our mat, reaching a little bit further with our left hand. And then same thing on the opposite side, walking the fingers back to center and then over to the left. extending with our right hand, and we're stretching through the side body. Coming back to center, nice deep breath here. Maybe relax the arms or the shoulders or the head more. Inhale, nice deep breath up. Exhale, pour it out, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the hands up toward the sky, reaching toward the sun. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, hinging up. Exhale, hands to heart. Shake those shoulders out. Inhale, hands up toward the sky again, and this time finding a lateral flexion with arms extended. We're interlacing the fingers and pointing the index fingers together and tilting toward the right side, keeping the left leg grounded. Inhale, center. Exhale, tilt toward the left. Keep the right foot grounded. We're just moving back and forth. Exhale over to one side, feeling that stretch all the way from the foot to the fingertips, feeling the openness between our ribs. And as we tilt, we can look up toward our elbow, or if it feels better to look straight ahead, that's okay too. And exhale down, hands to sides. Inhale up, exhale, hands to heart, folding forward, forward fold. We're going to starfish the hands about shoulder width apart, step back, downward facing dog. Starting to cycle the heels out, heart toward the toes, hips toward the sky. We're lengthening through the spine so we can bend those knees really generously. And then we can start to cycle out the heels, stretching the calves. Head is resting right between the elbows. We're pressing that heart back toward the feet. We'll inhale forward, high plank. Core is engaged. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, down dog. We're using the core to lift our hips up and then to lower them down, so it's all very controlled. Our shoulders are very strong here. We don't want any shoulders sinking into our necks. And then on this last plank, we're just going to kind of pulse here. Core is engaged, shoulders are strong, and we're just kind of bending the toes back and forth as we pulse. And we can do this. It's tough, but it really, really helps with those core muscles, which help with a lot of other things in our body, like keeping our back strong. Pressing up again, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 deep breaths here. If we still want to cycle out the heels, that's fine. From our down dog, we'll rest our knees on the mat and sink the hips back toward the heels. Taking a breather here, letting the arms extend out across the mat. Extended child's pose or balasana. Resting the forehead here on the earth, feeling that groundedness, allowing the earth beneath us to support us. If it feels better here to place 2 fists beneath the forehead, or maybe a block, we can do that. If we don't have a block at home, we can always use a book or a pillow or a blanket. And sometimes people like to spread their knees wide for an extended child's pose. It's just a deeper stretch, and it also provides a little bit more space if we need it, but I just like to keep my knees together. We'll inhale up into our neutral spine, move that block out of the way. And hands and feet are hip width and shoulder width apart. We can do fists for wrists if we have wrist issues. Starting to move into our cat-cow flow. We tuck the tailbone under first, finding our cat, spine reaches toward the ceiling, chin comes directly into the chest, and then we start with the tailbone again, letting it come out, belly comes toward the earth, chin comes up toward the clouds. We'll just continue moving back and forth, articulating the spine and taking our time with it. Feeling that stretch and that energy move all the way from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Moving into some hip circles here, we're going to send the hips over to the left side of the mat, back toward the heels, over to the right side, and then around one more time. When we get back to center, we're going to move in the opposite direction, over to the left side and then around to the right side. Just breathing as we go, and have fun with this. It's fun just to kind of move the hips around, stretch them out. We'll send the hips over to the right side of our mat, peek past our left shoulder toward our left ankle. Breathe here. And then inhale back to center, exhale, hips over to the left side of the mat, peek past our right shoulder toward that right ankle. And then inhale back to center again. We'll walk up to the front of our mat, forward fold, inhale, reverse swan dive up. And then exhale, chair. Moving into our sun salutations, exhale down, forward fold. So with these sun salutations, I'm going to demo the kneeling version first, then the kind of regular version, and then the advanced version. So we're stepping back with our right foot, finding our kneeling lunge. Left knee is stacked above the ankle, right knee is on the earth. And then we'll move both knees back behind for a kneeling plank. Engage the core. Exhale, elbows brush past our sides, kneeling crocodile. Open up, baby cobra. Exhale down. And then we'll press back, extended child's pose. Take a breath here. And then we'll walk to the top of the mat, forward fold. On the inhale, finding a half lift, just resting the hands there on the shins or on the thighs. And then inhale, reverse swan diving up. Exhale, chair. We can rest the hands on the thighs if we need to. Fold forward, forward fold. Exhale, step back with the left leg this time, finding our kneeling lunge. Then stepping back, finding our kneeling plank. Knees a little bit further behind the hips, core is engaged, elbows brush past, find that kneeling crocodile, and then baby cobra. And slide the hips back toward the heels, extended child's pose. Inhale, walk up, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, reverse swan diving up. And then we'll start our regular version of our sun salutation. So exhale, find our chair. Inhale, tall and strong. Exhale, down. We'll step back with our right leg, finding our high lunge. Hands at the heart. Extend through the back heel. Starfish the hands and step back for our downward facing dog. Inhale forward, high plank, core is engaged. Press forward off the toes, crocodile, and then open the heart. Eyes toward the heavens, up dog. Tuck the toes, hips come up, downward facing dog, and then walk to the top of our mats, forward fold. Inhale for our half lift, long spine, hands at the heart. Exhale. Inhale, fill up those lungs with air, reverse swan dive. Exhale, chair. Inhale, tall. Exhale, bore it out. Step back, left foot. Right knee is stacked above the ankle. We'll come up into that high lunge again. Extend through the back heel. Starfish the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, crocodile. Open that heart up, upward facing dog. And then tuck the toes, hips up, down dog. We'll walk to the top, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale. Inhale, reverse swan diving up. And this time we'll do the kind of advanced version. Pick the one you like the best. Exhale, chair. Inhale, tall. Exhale, pour it out. Step back, right foot, find our lunge, and then we'll inhale, hands up, all the way to the sky for a crescent lunge, little back bend here. Extend through the back ankle, starfish those hands, step back, down dog. This time extending the right leg up in the air, finding a three-legged down dog and a three-legged plank. Then we'll drop that foot for our crocodile and open up the heart, up dog, nice deep back bend. And then tucking the toes, lifting the hips up, downward facing dog. Walking to the top of the mat, forward fold. We'll inhale, hands to heart for a half lift. Exhale, then inhale, reverse swan diving up. Exhale, chair. Inhale, tall. Exhale, pour it out, forward fold. We'll step back with the left foot, finding our lunge. Hands rise to the heart. Inhale, hands up toward the sky. Opening the heart, finding a spot for our gaze, and then exhale, folding forward. Down dog. Left leg up in the air this time. And then inhale, forward, three-legged plank, and then crocodile. Opening up, upward facing dog, bearing the heart. Tuck the toes, hips up, downward dog. And then walking up, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale. Inhale, reverse swan diving up. We're going to find cactus arms. Deep breath up. Exhale, arms out wide. Inhale, tall one more time. Exhale through the mouth. Kind of shake that out a little bit. And then preparing for our balanced chair. We're going to send the hips back just like we normally do in chair. We should be able to look down and see our feet past our knees. And then we'll just kind of come onto the toes with one foot at a time. If balanced chair is not accessible to us today, our regular chair, Utkatasana, is perfectly fine. We can just practice along with that. If we would like to advance, we'll come up onto the toes. We can reach those arms up high or keep them at the heart. We can rest them on the thighs. Do what works best for you. If you need to modify, go for it. We'll let the heels find the earth, resting, inhaling, reaching toward the stars, opening the heart, and then exhale, hands down to the heart again. Our next balance pose today is going to be eagle. We can do just the eagle legs or just the eagle arms. I will demonstrate the full eagle, shifting the weight into the right leg. We're going to cross the left leg over, and then if we can, we'll curl the left toes around that right calf. Once we have the legs figured out, we'll start with the arms. So right arm goes over the left, and then we'll intertwine those arms. And if we can't reach the palms, then we can just grab onto the wrist. What we want to do here is really square up the hips and the shoulders so that they're all facing forward. And then we want to lift our elbows up toward the sky. So this is going to help our core engage a lot more, and it's also going to give us more stability. We'll let that go, release the arms, release the legs, really shake that out. We'll inhale again. Exhale, shift our weight into our left leg, cross our right leg over, curl those toes around if possible, and then left arm over right this time. Just intertwining the arms and then lifting the elbows up a little bit away from the knees. We'll just hang out here, practicing our balance. Definitely find a focal point to help us. And this is a challenging pose. Having to breathe and maintain concentration during a challenging pose is good practice for us to do that off the mat when other times are also challenging. Shake that out really well. Let's roll the neck a couple times. Relax the jaw. bringing our right knee up and then floating it back, we'll find our warrior two. Front toes facing the front of the room, back toes at about a 45-degree angle, and we'll lengthen the arms across the room. Inhale, shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, settle them down. All 10 fingers are spread wide. We're gazing into the middle finger on our right hand. This is our warrior two pose, Virabhadrasana 2. Even if it looks like we're in our pose, we want to make sure that we really are in the pose. So our feet have a good foundation beneath us, equal weight distribution. Core is engaged, arms are lengthening out across the room. And we'll get ready for our reverse warrior, flipping that right palm over and then lifting it up toward the sky. Left hand just gently rests on the back leg. We want to be sure not to press into the back knee. We'll feel those oblique muscles in the core really engage. Finding a flow here, inhale up, reverse warrior, exhale down, warrior two. Finding our breath with it as we go. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. We'll straighten the front knee and then just kind of step the feet back to where they were. And so that you can see better, I am switching directions. So this time stepping back with the right leg. Left knee is bent, lengthening the arms out across the mat, engaging our warrior two. Core is strong, arms are long, reaching across the room. And our breath is steady here. Opening the front palm, we'll lift that hand up toward the sky. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior two. If we have any difficulty with this flow, let's remember to engage the core, especially as we move. So lifting up, core is engaging, lowering down, core is engaging. Back and forth. We don't want our arms to do all the work. We'll straighten the front knee, kind of step out of that. Coming down into our forward fold. We want to make sure to soften the knees, relaxing the neck, relaxing the legs. And inhale, find our half lift. So our spine is long. If we need to rest the hands on the shins or on the thighs, we can do that. And then lengthen the arms back behind us. Our arms are against our sides and our palms are facing down and fingers are reaching backwards. So we really should feel a pull through the shoulders as if we were kind of hanging from a bar that was behind our hips. Remembering to keep those soft knees, engaging the core, gazing down toward the mat, and breathing here. This is our airplane pose. Exhale, let that go. Let's find a ragdoll position, grabbing either elbow, just rocking the arms side to side. Kind of steady ourselves with the hands on the mat and drop the left knee onto the floor. Uncurl the back toes. We'll place the left palm in the inside arch of the right foot. Remember to stack that right knee above the right ankle. Moving into our twisting lunge. If we need to put a block underneath our hand, that's certainly welcome. We'll place the hand on the earth. We're going to open the arms wide, making sure to really twist through the torso. And then we'll raise the back knee up off the floor if we would like to advance. We can stay here just with the arms raised. Or we can advance. we can find a bind. Bring the palms together, peeking past that shoulder toward the ceiling. I should note that finding the bind in the kneeling position is going to be more difficult than when we're up high. So if you try the bind when you're kneeling, don't feel bad if it's not really working. We'll exhale back, downward facing dog, and then move to the opposite side. We'll inhale the left foot up between the hands. And then twist through the torso toward that left knee. Extend the left hand up toward the sky, reaching. And then finding the bind if we'd like to. Breathing here. Our twists are so good for our bodies. They really give the organs a great massage. It's good to get things moving. We'll step back again, finding our downward facing dog. Stepping the right foot up between the hands this time, finding a high lunge, right knee stacked above the ankle. We'll sweep the hands up toward the sky for a crescent lunge. Find a high lunge for a moment. Kind of float forward with the left toes, engaging the core, coming into our warrior three. Our goal is to keep the hands and the torso and the heel all in line. Mine was a little bit tilted, that's okay. If we need to place a block beneath the hands, we can. We can keep the hands at the heart, or we can extend them past the ears. And gently step out of it. Step the left foot between the hands this time, finding a high lunge on this side. Hands come up by the ears. Float forward on the right toes, and then press up off that foot into our warrior three. There we go, leveling it out. Engaging the core, really lifting that left heel. We want to flex the left toes toward the shin. Keeping the hips level especially is important here. And gently step out of it. Inhaling tall. Exhale, hands to heart will fold forward. We get to do another twist today. Moving into our twisting forward fold. And it's probably really hard to see because I did not turn sideways for this pose, but the right knee is bent. Placing the right hand on the earth in front of us or on the block in front of us, we'll sweep the chest open and then gaze up toward our hand, breathing here. So right knee is bent and right hand is on the floor. And moving into the opposite side, we'll have left knee bent, left hand on the floor. Sweeping the right hand up toward the sky, keeping the right leg straight. And then we'll exhale, hand down toward the earth. Relax the shoulders and the neck again. Move the block out of the way if we had one. And then starfish the hands and step back into our downward facing dog. Bending the knees into the belly and cycling the heels back. Taking 3 deep breaths here. And then coming forward, finding a triangle position with our arms. Elbows are shoulder width apart. We're clasping the hands together and then pretending kind of like we're coming into a cat pose. We'll tuck the tailbone and then curl the spine up toward the ceiling and chin into the chest, straightening the legs behind us, coming into our dolphin pose. We'll step back, finding our forearm plank. Inhale forward. And then inhale, lifting hips up, dolphin. These are called our dolphin walkouts. Stepping back, exhale, and then inhale, lifting hips up. Just moving at our own pace with our own breath. Core is engaged. I think these are a lot more difficult than our down dog plank flows, but they're handy if we have any kind of wrist pain, and they're also good for strengthening the core. Dropping the knees to the mat, sending the hips toward the heels. Child's pose time, time to rest, time to breathe. Inhaling up, we'll starfish those hands. Scooting the knees back a little bit, we'll find puppy pose. Puppy pose has a 90-degree angle in the knees. Hips are straight toward the sky, and then chin kind of rests on the mat so that we can peek forward. That's a great way to stretch out the shoulders. We can also find our full child's pose with the hands resting back toward the heels, forehead resting on the mat. We can try all three of these. We can just stick with one. Totally up to you. It's your class. And we're breathing here, centering ourselves, feeling that support beneath us. We'll inhale, extending the hands out in front of us. We're going to inhale up into our neutral spine. Hands are beneath the shoulders, knees are beneath the hips. Turning our right leg out at an angle, knee supporting the hip. We'll extend our left leg across the mat. And then inhale, left arm toward the sky. And then we'll kind of come up, make sure that the knee is still supporting the hip directly beneath it. Turning those left toes up toward the ceiling. And extending the arms across the room. We'll flip the right palm upward and then find gate. Core is engaged. We have a good side stretch here. Taking care not to press into the knee with the left hand. And then dropping the right hand and left back to the mat. We'll move into the opposite side. So I'll turn sideways so you can see better. Bringing the left leg out at an angle this time, extending the right leg out across the mat. Turning those right toes up toward the ceiling, making sure that the right leg is engaged, extending the arms, then opening up to the right side. Breathing. Exhale, hands back down. And then bringing the knees together. For the next few minutes, we're just going to be resting on our knees. If being on our knees for a long time is uncomfortable, let's go ahead and fold the mat over or find a cushion to put underneath them. The first pose we'll do is our modified camel. Taking 2 fists into the lower back and then drawing the elbows toward one another, we'll tilt the head up and open the heart. Moving into our regular camel, we'll tuck the toes under so that the heels come up a little bit higher. We get a good foot stretch. And then we'll sink the left hand back And then the right hand, and we're pressing our hips into an imaginary wall, opening the heart, curling the tailbone under. And if it helps to have a block between our feet that can kind of raise the hands up a little bit, feel free to do that. And we're lifting the chest toward the sky, feeling those beams of light coming from our heart, radiating love, practicing openness and compassion. Gently coming out of that one hand at a time. And coming to rest in a kneeling position, opening the arms wide, we'll give ourselves a nice big hug. And we're closing up that heart space, but we're opening the shoulder blades. Every time that we do an opening pose, I like to do a closing pose so that we can open the opposite side. We'll do the opposite arm over this time, give ourselves another hug. If it's uncomfortable to sit in a kneeling position for so long, feel free to find our easy seated pose or whatever seated pose feels better. Then we'll release those hands, rest our fingertips on our shoulders, make a few elbow circles here, forward. And then we'll circle the elbows backward, saying thank you to our shoulders for all the hard work that they did today. Resting the hands on the knees, we'll practice our buzzing breath. And this one is really fun because we get to sound like a swarm of bees. So we inhale through the nose, and then we exhale through the mouth, baring the teeth, and we'll sound like this. And it's pretty loud, but it's a great way to relax the jaw and relax the face muscles. We'll inhale again, and then exhale, buzzing through the mouth. And our exhale will last pretty long. Resuming our normal breathing, we'll give our neck a couple of rolls. Bringing the left hand onto the head, just gently guiding it open, relaxing the right shoulder. We'll guide it back to center. Then right hand gently guides the neck, opening the left side, or whatever seated pose feels better. Bring our head back to center. Exhaling the chin to the chest, taking a breath there. Pressing the tongue into the roof of the mouth, we'll inhale, lifting the chin up toward the sky. And then exhale back down. And crossing the ankles behind us and then rocking backward onto our sits bones, we'll get ready for our pinwheel twist. Lining the shin up with the edge of our mat, finding a 90-degree angle in our left knee and a 90-degree angle in our left ankle. We'll bring our right knee to the left heel, 90 degrees there, 90 degrees in that angle. Inhale tall, sweeping the chest open. We'll rest the right hand on the left knee. Find our support behind with the left hand. And breathe here in this twist. So if we're someone who often comes into a seated twist with a curvy spine, or if we have a hard time lengthening up in our twist, our pinwheel twist is a great modification to allow the spine to grow and lengthen and prevent that curvature that can sometimes happen. Feel free to substitute any seated twist here. I just like to demonstrate this one. We'll slowly exhale back to center, move in the opposite direction to find our reverse seated twist. And then come back to center. And then we'll switch the legs, finding the edge of the mat this time with our right shin, 90 degree in that knee, 90-degree angle in the right ankle, and then bringing the left knee to the right heel, 90 degrees in that knee, 90 degrees in the left ankle. We'll sweep the chest open, rest the left hand on the right knee, and rest our hand behind us for support. We just gently move into the twist, short breaths here. Slowly exhale back to center. I got a little bit of a Charlie horse in my leg. Find our reverse seated twist. And then we'll extend both of our feet out wide into our seated straddle stretch, lengthening through the spine here. Then we'll walk into our pose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, walk the fingers forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, walk forward. We'll take our time with this. A lot of folks have much more flexible legs than I do in this position, so you might be showing me up quite a bit. And way to go, that's awesome. Yoga is not a competition. We find where we need to be, and then we rest there. We'll bring those legs together and just kind of let the legs shift from side to side. Relaxing them, kind of massaging the hips and hugging the knees into the chest. We'll rock back onto the floor into our Apanasana pose, knees to chest. And we can rock from side to side if that feels good, acquainting our spine with the floor, just getting used to being here in a supine position. Dropping the left foot flat onto the mat, keeping the left knee bent. We'll cross the right ankle over the left knee. We can stay there, or we can hug around the back of the left thigh or the left shin. This is our figure 4 or pretzel pose. Really, really great for stretching the lower back. An advancement for this would be our pigeon pose, although it is weight bearing, so it's going to be deeper. And if we have any kind of back pain, sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to get into. I'm recovering from a hip injury, so I'm sticking with the figure 4 pose. We'll drop the left foot flat onto the mat and gently press into that right knee, opening up the hip, maybe saying a little thank you for that space that we find in each pose. Extending the right leg up in the air, flexing the toes, we'll drop that right foot flat on the mat, right knee bent, cross the left ankle over, we'll hug around the back of the right thigh or the right shin, slowing the breath, slowing the mind. Starting to come into a relaxed position. We'll bring that right foot flat on the mat and then press directly into the left knee. If you notice the elephant on my shirt today, that is from my favorite restaurant, Thai Thai, in Bowling Green, Kentucky. They're a small business and they are amazing, so I highly recommend trying them out. Now extending both legs up toward the sky, flexing the toes toward the shins, coming into our work rest pose. It's a great way to practice finding balance between our work life and our resting or personal life. It's also a great way to practice balance in all things. We have to work a little, but we also have to know how to rest. Our upper body is relaxed, and our lower half of our body is doing all of the work. Arms are just resting on the earth beside us. And exhale, knees into the chest. We'll kind of come into a little ball here, bringing the forehead up toward the knees. And then spreading our feet as wide as we can, reaching the arms up above our head, coming into kind of a starfish position. I want us to just imagine that we're lying on the face of the earth as it's spinning, and we can feel the earth holding us up. And as it slowly spins, we're breathing, we're full of life, we're safe, and clouds are passing by. Maybe we see the underside of a tree. We can smell the grass. We can hear the birds chirping, singing their songs. We're full of life, we're full of breath. We're resting, feeling our gravity here on this planet. Maybe we take a moment to ponder what else is out there. Thinking about how small we are, feeling our vulnerability, but knowing that we're safe. Knowing that we're grounded, we're taken care of. And starting to come out of that into our traditional savasana position. We'll bring the heels about mat width apart, arms down at our sides, palms facing up. And we'll feel that breath moving through our bodies. We'll feel the lungs expand as we inhale, and we'll feel the breath leave us as we exhale, making space for more breath later. We'll take a moment to be thankful for all those things that our body does without having to be asked or told. Closing the eyes if we haven't already. Feeling that truly wonderful rest as we lie here. That security as we lie down, resting and breathing in our space on this planet within our great universe. We'll start to wiggle the fingers and toes, and bending our knees, moving from death into life, rocking the knees onto the side of the mat, finding our baby pose. We'll rest here with the left arm underneath the head. Taking a few more breaths to prepare for the rest of our day. And as we're ready, pressing up off of the floor into our easy seated pose or Sukhasana. Sits bones are beneath us, hands are at our heart, spine is tall. On the next inhale, we'll press the hands toward the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart. I am present. Inhale, pressing up. I am open. Exhale, down. Inhale, pressing up. I am awake. Exhale, hands to heart. Peace be with you. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you have a great one. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that you got to learn something new. And don't forget to like and subscribe